Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Mystic Mayhem. We're a couple of days into the Asgard patch, and I know some people don't like to talk about this kind of stuff, or maybe even listen to me talk about this kind of stuff. But I think we need to have an honest conversation about what's going on in the game and what's going on with the game economy. Honestly, I think that this is about 90% of the problems that I have, anyways, with Marvel Mystic Mayhem, and how this relates to kind of new characters and, at least for right now, the lack of content to use them all in. I want to discuss all of this and more. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Okay, and so, we covered some of this in the first look of the update video that I did 2 days ago or whatever. And when I saw and I am recording this a little bit early. If you're wondering why I'm not on day 2 or day 3, I should be on day 2 like in 20 minutes, but I'm recording this a little bit early. That I was kind of saddened that they didn't give great keys. They're giving 7 days of 3 shadow keys and no gems, and the game economy, in my opinion, is pretty poor. The key economy, let's call it the great key economy, right? In terms of where you're able to get these. Or gems, because then you can convert that as well. We have Mystic Clash. Okay, so there's, again, a Shadow Key and 100 gems. Okay, that's 100 gems for the week for Mystic Clash. Bifrost Brawl, again, 100 gems and a Shadow Key, not a Great Key. And then there's 100 gems here. So that's 300 gems, I guess. So that's 2 Great Keys between Mystic Clash and Bifrost Brawl. Now, Surtur, that was kind of nice. For the first time rewards, right? We did this already in a video. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that challenging, honestly. I did one major run, and I'm already in the less than 1% category. It's kind of sad, actually, because I didn't really try that hard. Anyways, we got about 1,000 gems for doing this, so that was okay. That was like 6 keys worth, right? And then you get, like, I found a really interesting Reddit post that talked about how many keys that you could get on I think it was a per 6-week basis, because we're expected that these version updates are going to be in 6-week rotations. So I think that that's pretty important to understand, right? And as far as, the banners go, I don't think that I'm going to be pulling on this. I'm trying not to say the name because my dog's named the same name, so it might activate him. But this guy, right? So I'm not convinced that we actually need him. As far as current content goes, frankly, I'm not even sure we really need Sue either. I know a lot of people like Sue, but I'm not sure if the content exists really for her either. The only reason why I was maybe thinking of pulling her was because she does have a up for Human Torch, and I am using Human Torch, and I wouldn't mind getting more soul shards for him. But I mean, I could go into one more a round of 80 pities, right? 57 plus 24. That's 81. I do a little bit of light spending from time, and what I mean by that is like the $5 packs of keys. Not on all of them, but sometimes I do this, so that's why I have a little bit more. But as far as free to play goes, it's just really not great. Now, the monthly limit is going to reset. This should reset like, oh, that's weird. Why is it still sold out? I hope that resets pretty soon, because otherwise that's a big issue. I was gonna say, in terms of the access to this, right? And then I could buy another, what is this, 10, maybe like 17 great keys here from my Dream Sand. And this is all of the Dream Sand that I've accumulated since I started playing the game, right? So maybe that there's there. But I do want to talk about this post that I saw on Reddit. There was a few, actually, but there was what kind of prompted me to do this video. And it said 5 banners in a month, 3 running concurrently. And we get 3 normal keys from login and 5 normal keys from the Fantastic event. There's 165 upvotes on this. I know that Reddit is not the bastion of perfect information, but this isn't normal and is just greedy. Don't get me wrong, the game is fun, and I like the core gameplay of Marvel Mystic Mayhem. I do enjoy it, right? And we're gonna get to the stuff about wide rosters and why you don't really need that. The characters and art are A+, I agree. But the fact is, they're running 3 banners at a time and haven't given us a fraction of the rewards to pull for them. It's crazy. So one thing that I do want to say is that when I pulled for the Reed banner, that was basically all. I hadn't pulled any great keys to that point, and I could do one more. but I have purchased 20 great keys from those small packs. And also, I'm on my second daily gem monthly login kind of pack, that kind of thing there. So just as a point of reference. So free to play probably wouldn't have more than like one set of 80 at this point, with I guess the fourth newest character, right? We had Captain America, and then Sue, Reed, and now Loki, right? So four new characters, and of which probably most free to play could have only have gone into 80 keys on one of them, right? And if that's keeping up, that is a big problem. Content is lacking and rewards are not there. With the way it's going, we'll have to miss 5 to 7 characters just to get one. Game is fun, but it's super stingy, which I agree. And I saw this post by Cyber Yellow the other day on the Reddit page, and I want to blow this up a little bit if I can. This was a discussion about the keys, right? So this was shadow keys and gray keys, and honestly, what I care about is gray keys. And just for reference, I believe this was based on a 6-week cycle, right? And they're talking about 2 new character banners, but I think it's like 2 or 3 new characters per 6 weeks, right? It could be every other week, every 2 weeks, because I think they're planning on rotating in. And I want to show you this that's in game right now, actually, that you can find this within the gallery, that you can see within the highlights that they have plans for other banners, including an Emma Frost banner. Her highlight is here, which indicates that there's going to be a banner for her. There's going to be a Doctor Strange banner. His highlight's in here as well. So that's another one there. And the Thor banner as well for Berserker Rage. So those are the 3 new legendary highlights that were added to the game, which means at least 3 of the 6 weeks is going to be for older characters, namely Doctor Strange, Thor, and Emma Frost. And then we have the Loki banner, and then I don't know what the other banners are going to be yet. I don't see... oh, sorry, there's a Juggernaut banner. I didn't even see this before. The Crush for Sidorak. Okay, so there's going to be a Juggernaut banner. So maybe 2 new characters and 4 old characters, and they're going to be running a banner for each of these old characters, of which, in order to get the highlight, you need to pull 80 great keys. There's nothing around that. Like, you have to pull the 80 keys to get the highlight. You have to do that. I'm not going to go in here and talk about each of these highlights right now. I didn't notice that before, actually, when the update was there. So that's 4 old characters with legendary highlights coming, and then we have the Loki one, of course, the Old Tales Reborn, and then I guess another character that's going to be coming in the next 6 weeks. So let's go back to this, where we talked about the great key accumulation. Now, I think this is fairly accurate because I kind of saw that essentially in order to get 80 great keys free to play, it would be roughly 2 months. That's what I had heard before. And if this is accurate, this doesn't seem too far off. Anyways, it's saying free to play is basically getting 72 great keys free to play. This is based on gems, or using gems on this, I think, or gems plus great keys given, right? Mystic Clash. And this would be gems, I think, because you don't actually get great keys on these. Login events, Mystic Clash, Bifrost Ball, Nightfall New Boss, which would be Surtur, right? New story chapters. These are all gem related stuff, basically converting it from gems. Crimson Khonshu, the converters, daily missions, which is the 75 gems per day, Superflow, Dream Pass, Event Battle Pass, Event, and Alliance War, right? Which we'll have to talk about more later. Honestly, there's nothing really going on with Alliance War until next week. And then if you want to get the Dream Pass and the Bat's Bone Pass, which is quite significant, actually, the daily gems from that, then you're looking at about, from the Dream Pass and the Battle Pass, you're looking at about 106 great keys per 6 weeks. So, feasibly, without buying anything extra on top of that, like the $5 packs and whatnot, you can get yourself, if you want to pay a little bit, I think that's about like $25 a month or something like this, that you can get yourself about 1.25 of those mercies. And what I mean by mercy, I mean is like the 80 pulls, because you really want to go 80 pulls into these banners, right? Because that's my thought process, and I think that seems fair, right? I went into Reed going to pull the 80 because I wanted the highlight, and the highlights currently are not found anywhere else. Therefore, that if you want a character to be decent, now maybe each character doesn't require their highlight necessarily to be good, but it definitely elevates them, right? And the character shards are just going to go back into the shadow keys at some point. Right now, anyways, Captain America is here. And I assume when the Fantastic Four ones end, which is going to be in 6 days, is that for both? That they're going to be dumped into the Shadow Key banner, and then we're probably going to get whoever the next character that we already have, right? The Emma banner or the Thor banner or something like this is going to come out. And then once this goes live, maybe in about 2 weeks time, we're going to get another new character. Maybe this will be here for 20 days. I don't know. The point is that the key economy is not good. And it doesn't really, their first month should have been very generous. They should have been just chucking it at us, because let me tell you, from doing YouTube videos since this game came out to now, there has been a drastic decline in viewership, which means that players are quitting. And this is a big concern on both fronts, not just for me, for YouTube creatordom, but also you guys, the players, because it means that there's a lot less players. That means there's a lot less spending. There's less revenue made by them. And that is a concern overall for everyone. And they need to be a little bit more generous on the keys in 2 ways. Either they need to give us more keys flat out, or increase the gems. Alternatively, they can reduce the mercy here from 80 to like 60, right? That performs 60 pulls to something like this. Like, something's got to give. Either the keys and gems need to go up, or the amount that you need to pull for the banners need to come down. One of the two has to happen. Also, I gotta say that I can pretty much use my Fantastic 3 for pretty much all the content, and there's not a lot of justification other than those new Superflow challenges to use more than 3 characters. I cleared all of the Asgard stuff with just my Fantastic 3. I cleared the story, I cleared Nightfall, I did Crimson Campaign, I did the challenges all the way up until, you guys watched the video probably, all the way up until the Superflow thing, in which I actually did end up using. I broke up my Fantastic 3 and used Moon Girl, and used them over here. The Chaos Elemental was actually the hardest one I found. And on the left, I did Thor, Juggernaut, and a Dream Queen on this one. So the only content now, if they had like 9, like 3, a triple challenge, like that would justify me needing to have more characters, right? But as it says right now, like, I hardly need more than 3. Occasionally, right, for the Superflow challenge, that's the only reason why you need more than 3 characters, frankly, at this point at level 70. And so what does that mean for pulling on new characters? Why do I want these new characters? Why do I need them? Right? And the Alliance War content is going to be PvE based. And am I going to use more than 3 characters on that? I don't know, because I'll be honest, the explanation is so lengthy that I just kind of need to play it and kind of figure it out on my own. I don't know if I'll be able to do a video about this in advance. There was a lot of text there, and it was a bit confusing without any visual aids or any video content to kind of tell us what exactly is going on. But I think that Marvel Mystic Mayhem is in a bit of a tight spot right now, and this Asgard update is going to be very pivotal for the game, right? Are people going to stick around to find out more? Is this just growing pains by NetEase on the game? Are they going to fix the game economy? I think, from what I've heard from people who quit, the game economy, the key economy, is actually one of the major reasons why people aren't sticking around. That, and the fact that you don't really need the content, you don't need the characters to do any content, because there's just not a lot of content there. That's just my thoughts. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below. That's it for now, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you all on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.